hands are literally not touching anything. This is not me.
And
Uh,
Mixer's down too.
I think, and on my end, I'm at zero drop frame rate, so my computer's green across the board. CPU usage is down under 10%, so
Mixer up again.
it's not me. It's definitely not me. Something's wrong with the network, or I don't know. Maybe it's. I mean, we wire everything through Mob Crush. I don't know if it's Mob Crush or something's going on.
Boss says Periscope's been consistent, so I don't know if. Hi Periscope, thanks for hanging out.
Periscope, what's up, guys? Woo woo, you guys rock.
Woohoo!
So,
Fuck yeah, Periscope. We
yeah,
love you guys.
Periscope's on it, man.
Fucking
Um,
Facebook.
well,
Zucked.
whatever. You know,
No, but I'm just gonna keep talking.
yeah,
People can hear us on
keep it
Facebook.
rolling,
I don't think
man.
you hear us on Mixer or not.
Yeah. Apparently, everybody tune into Periscope. That's where it's at.
Episode
That's where the
five
party's.
games. Woohoo! But okay, but I'll throw back in it.
All right.
I'm just worried about like the production value. Some of these, some big movies, and it all coming to shit or kind of being like back in the old days we kind of had like the B movies and shit. You know what I mean? Like, is it gonna
Right.
get to that again or what? I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to watch. I'm really excited to watch it and figure that shit out as it comes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Um, make a new Candyman movie. Well, Sith Lord Sting. There is a new Candyman movie coming out. And yeah, so cable companies either.
get more AOL minutes, he says.
Yeah, that's it. That's good, man. I can't talk smack about cable companies either because apparently we're getting pulled for that too, man. I'm hitting all the right people today. I'm hitting all the right nerves.
Well, and
So
I keeps happening when I talk, man. I'm just gonna shut up.
I'm telling you, it's your fault, man. I don't know why, but I don't know what you did on your end. We're testing the limits. That's right. Yeah, I'm getting like even my unified chat shut down. Like everything is just. It's
Is
like
it the coronavirus taking out our shit?
yeah, I'm telling you, the coronavirus
I
has
told
jumped
you
from people
earlier in the
to
fucking deal when they're like, "Oh, it's coming through in Chinese." I'm like, "Great, we got coronavirus.exe or some shit."
yeah.
Now it's all fucking. Whoa.
Yep, I've got zero chat. So for y'all out there, radar monitor the chats because
I got some chats. I got some shits
I
going
got
on.
zero access. So moving on, so we don't get pulled again. Yeah, here's some cool news. So the Joker, obviously the movie Joker, Joaquin Phoenix led Joker, has officially ended its run in the theaters. So it was in theaters. It was huge, massive. Kind of died down. Then it hit the big Oscar award, and it kind of picked up again a little bit. Like obviously not the way it did originally, but it stayed in theaters for quite a while. It officially ended its run in the theaters and is going to go down as one of the highest grossing R-rated movies of all time. So the movie wrapped up its box office run, setting an overall tally just short of 335 million domestically. So this is domestically 335 million. Now that slot makes it the fourth highest R-rated domestically. So it goes Passion of the Christ, which is odd, at 370, Deadpool at 363, American Sniper at 350, and then Joker at 335. Now that's domestically. Globally, whole different story. So the movie shattered expectations and worldwide total box office with 1.07 billion with a B worldwide. So that makes it the highest grossing R-rated movie worldwide, and it wasn't even close. It was a large margin. So at 1.07 billion, the next highest was Deadpool 2, which came in at 785 million worldwide. So for those that were saying, we're going to have superhero burnout and R-rated superhero movies can't do well, and obviously it's not a superhero movie, it's a villain movie, but the idea that a comic book based movie, we're what, the kickoff of the current day superhero movies was obviously Iron Man, but it goes back further than that. The Spider-Man trilogies and the X-Men trilogies, the reboots of the Spider-Mans and Blade and all that. So it goes way back. But for as far as we are in the superhero comic book movie world and people claiming there's going to be burnout, for it to pull in $1.07 billion worldwide as an R-rated comic book movie is just ridiculous. And I really do think it opens the floodgates because just when they did Venom, just 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when they did the Venom movie, they got scared to do an R-rated movie, and they pulled it back to a PG-13 because they were like, man, I mean, how are we gonna make that money doing an R-rated superhero? And even though Deadpool kind of laid the way, Sony was still scared and pulled back Venom. I think this proves that if you can tell a legit good story and give it legit good acting and legit good writing and legit good directing, you can make a good movie. You can make a financially successful movie, but also just a good movie. A movie that wins Best Actor and Best Original Score, at the Oscars. And so kudos to them. I mean, did you see Joker in theaters?
I did. I not in theaters.
Oh,
no, I'm just kidding.
I didn't. No, we're not bagging on theaters. Don't pull us.
See shit.
But what'd you think? Right? I mean, good movie.
It's all right. It's good.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, I'm a little perturbed that it got so much praise when Endgame, Avengers Endgame, had all this critical success, but got a little snubbed, because it's superheroes in latex and shooting lasers, and Joker was this gritty, real, thing. But as long as they keep telling good stories, man, I'm gonna keep shelling out bucks to go see it. That's all that matters to me. So, and speaking of the Joker, we're going to segue into the Batman universe. And now, over the last 2 weeks, I've been dropping a lot of stuff, right? Because 2 weeks ago we got the first look at the suit, right? They did the teaser video, and then last week we had peeks of him on the motorcycle and the peeks behind the scenes of some of the scenes. Well, this week they are continuing the trend. I'm gonna make sure I pull this up because this week we have some pretty cool stuff to look at. We have the Batman. I'm sorry, not the Batman. The Batmobile. So this is really, really cool, and I'm so excited to show you this. So take a look at this. This, my friends, is the Batmobile. This is the Matt Reeves Batman movie with starring Robert Pattinson in the Batsuit. This is our first look, really our first look, not only at just the Batmobile, which is crazy, but really this is our first look at the suit outside of the tiny little teaser that focused mainly on the chest and the cowl, and then the scenes that we saw last week where they're filming and you didn't really see the full suit. It was more of a stunt stuff, but this is kind of the feel of the movie. I think they're trying to give you a look at the style they're going for and the feel they're going for, and you can kind of get pretty good looks at the suit. And obviously, again, they're in the background, they're in the shadow, they're in the kind of blurred out, but it gives you a good feel for what they're trying to do. I don't know yet how I feel about this, and I understand that the whole premise of this movie is that this is Batman in his infancy, right? This is him just starting out. So, but when I think Batmobile, I just don't think traditional car. I don't think a car where you open the door like if you're getting into any old sedan, Right. So admittedly, this is a very early version of the Batmobile. But I don't know. It looks a little too much like a normal car. I don't know. What do you think?
It looks a lot like a Challenger.
Yeah, right.
Like a Challenger.
Obviously,
but
got the.
They still put some work into it. Look at the back. Like they got a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
It's like another engine or two hanging out the back. Like this, you can see. Like I would go through the premise of the movie, right? Mm-hmm. And you can kind of say that they're trying to. This is his first Batmobile, or whatever.
Yeah.
And it looks like something you could see someone with a lot of money thrown into a car.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I can definitely, and I think this is where it sits weird with me. I'm gonna tell you, the first peek we saw of him on the motorcycle and everything, motorcycle looks barely adapted for Batman, and now we're seeing the car, and it looks barely adapted for Batman. But when you look at the suit, it looks very much like Batman. And so I guess maybe it feels it feels like it doesn't line up right with me, right? Like
Right.
if the Batman suit looked a little more like I'm just putting on hockey pads, or I'm putting on just some leather, biker jacket with a cowl, then I guess it would feel more in line with everything. But the suit looks pretty impressive. It's a pretty impressive Batman suit, where all the other tech seems just a little bit slightly modified. I don't know. Maybe it's something that we're not in context, right? We're taking all of this out of context. We're looking at just some stills that they've released. But yeah, so and for all we know, in the movie that car is version one, but the suit we're seeing is like the final version. You know what I'm saying? So maybe there's that in my mind. That's why there's such a stark contrast between where his car is versus where his suit is. But who
Right.
knows? We're just
You know, but
speculating.
what they should have did is get like an old, like, I don't know, like a '97 Subaru Legacy wagon or some shit. Like souped it all up. That'd be fucking tits.
I want a minivan. I want the
Yes.
bat van. You know what I mean? He just puts a big bat logo on it, soups it the hell out, right? So that it's got like this big engine hanging off the back, but something a little more I don't know. A little
I'm thinking the 18 van with the red stripe on the
right,
side and shit.
right. Yes. Or look, if you want to go grounded, if you want to go grounded and you want to say year 1, like he's a bajillionaire, have him buy like a SWAT vehicle, right? Like one of these big monster bulky armored SWAT vehicles, have him customize that,
Right.
and that could be a start of the Batmobile. And you can be like, well, it's great armored but it's not fast enough. And then he kind of goes through like the iterations of and modulating it and changing it and making it closer to the Batmobile that we know and love. I don't like the idea of going from car to Batmobile. I feel like that's
Right.
a I don't know.
You should have went from like MRAP to Batmobile.
Right,
Fucking
right.
Batman
Well,
having rollover drills and shit.
exactly, and that's kind of what like the Christopher Nolan Batman did, right?
Right.
The idea is that those were military grade prototypes, and he edited, updated or whatever.
Mhm.
But I like that idea of like armor comes first, not flying down the street at 180 miles an hour,
Right.
because I don't know. I mean, Gotham's made up, but if we're saying that that's similar to like New York City, I don't know any of them streets where you're tearing up the roads with that. I'd rather have like a big battle tank, or monster truck. Give him a Batman monster truck, and he just
Yeah, big
drives.
redneck monster truck.
He
Fuck yeah. Big
drives over
jacked up diesel
cars.
blowing black smoke in people's faces with truck nuts hanging
Yeah,
off the back.
you don't need
But instead
smoke
of the
bombs.
truck
You
nuts are
just
little
rev it.
bat wings. Yes. Goodness.
Yeah, and like you can say, well, he makes the tires out of this rubber polymer so that like it could drive over cars without crushing them, right? Like it's just this weird rubber, and that's how he can like escape authorities and stuff because he just keeps driving and they get stuck in traffic. I don't know, something like that. Just stuff just coming off the top of my head here. I'm thinking, but yeah. So now we've had our first look at the suit, we've had our first look at the Bat cycle, and now the first look at the Batmobile. So we'll keep up to date on what's going on with the Batman universe, and we'll see what's coming out with that. But so jumping over from Batman to Spider-Man, what is going on with the Spider-Man stuff, right? I've got this cool thing to share with you guys. All right, so if you remember the first Spider-Man was Homecoming. Homecoming, the villain was Vulture. Michael Keaton played Vulture. There was a small bit role. Matt Gargan, who comic book fans and Spider-Man fans know, Matt Gargan becomes the Scorpion. And you'll recognize this actor. This is Michael Mando. Mando. We'll say Mando. Michael Mando. I apologize, Michael, if you're a fan, you're watching. I won't screw up your name next time. But so Michael Mando played Matt Gargan, who eventually in the comic books becomes Scorpion, and now, hasn't been confirmed to return. And there was a very brief, not a deleted scene, the after credit scene in Homecoming where he meets up with Michael Keaton's character, Vulture character, in prison, and he's all scarred up, and he's in like a almost like a pins and needles kind of thing from getting repaired, say and very much like he wants to set up some type of supervillain team to kill Spider-Man or whatever. Well, he has been quiet as far as uh, 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 post Spider-Man plans as far as is his character coming back? Is it gone? Whatnot. So he, let's see, his on version character. So he's decided to play. Basically, this is him, screwing around with the MCU fans. Basically, Saturday night, he shared this image of himself on Twitter, no caption, other than an emoji of a scorpion. Let's see if I can point to this. Right there. Scorpion emoji. No caption, just a little sly, cute picture here. And basically, this comes just a few days ago. He actually was doing an interview with Variety. And when they asked, hey, will you be coming back to the Spider-Man? Because obviously he wasn't in the sequel, Far From Home. But they said, okay, well, now with that Morbius movie coming out, is your character coming back to the MCU, to the Spider-Man universe? And all he would say was, there is a chance. There's always a chance. That's it. That's all he would say about it. So, I mean, that's not him confirming that he's coming back, but the idea that, his character is out there, is alive, does have a revenge scheme or want vengeance. And now, this Saturday, he's posting this picture of himself with Scorpion. I mean, it doesn't take rocket science just, to figure out that, maybe he's hinting at making another appearance as Scorpion in the future, which I think would be awesome. It's a character that's been underutilized in media. He was very popular in the comics, very popular in the cartoons, and we've yet to see his character really come to this big screen. So, and I like the actor. I've loved him since I saw him in Breaking Bad. He's been in Better Call Saul. I think he's a great, phenomenal actor. Another guy named Michael. You gotta appreciate that. But I'd be interested to see him bring back that character. What do you think?
I think it'd be awesome. I think it'd be great.
Yeah.
And whenever they start pulling that, well, there's no yes or no, you might as well say yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to say yes.
Right.
But we know what's up.
Right. I mean, it's like it's a very coy way of like, maybe this is his way of stoking that fire, showing the studios that like, look, man, people are interested, people care, people want to see this, and getting them to be like, because maybe they're like, oh, we don't know if we're gonna bring you back. So he's like, all right, I'll drop this out there and let it get viral, and they're like, well, shit, we need to bring this guy back. So.
Right.
It'd be interesting. Yeah,
he just sold himself to the studio.
Exactly.
They weren't going to bring him back. Now he's paying their like swimwear. What's up?
Yeah. Well, and it's that there's definitely a kind of history with that, because if you look at Chris Pratt, right? Everybody knows him as Star-Lord and all this and all that. For the longest time, he was only that guy from Parks and Rec. He was Andy Dwyer from Parks and Rec, and he got that small part in what was it, the movie Zero Dark 30, the one with the hunt for Osama bin Laden, Zero Dark 30, and he got into buff shape and to play a Navy SEAL character, and he was in such incredible shape that he like tweeted out that picture, and he like sent it straight to casting people, and he's like, look, I'm not just the fat guy from Parks and Rec, like I can do this, and that got him in the door to audition for Star-Lord with Marvel. So, right. I mean, you can't say tweets and pictures and stuff like that. As an actor, I mean, it gets you noticed, because obviously as not an actor, it's probably not going to get you noticed. But as a working actor,
I'm old and fat.
As an actor,
I think we got the old and fat slots covered.
That's right.
Radar things.
Tons of those actors around. We got plenty. So I think that's interesting, and it's a great segue into the next thing I was going to talk about, since we're talking about Star-Lord. Old fat people. No, not old fat people. We're talking about Star-Lord. We're talking about Guardians of the Galaxy. So, okay. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was originally slated to actually come out this year. In the original plan for Guardians of the Galaxy 3, it was slated for 2020. For those that don't know, there was a bit of an issue when the director, James Gunn, who did Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and Volume 2, got into a little hot water for some tweets he made years ago. Marvel decided they'd rather play it safe. They cut bait and run. They said, sorry, you're off the project. And so it was a big shakeup in the Marvel world, because, he was the creative force behind Guardians of the Galaxy. And so he went off and signed with DC to do Suicide Squad. Now, everything dies down, and Marvel says, so you know what? We changed our mind. Come back, do Guardians of the Galaxy 3. and he basically says, "I'll do it, but I've already signed on to do Suicide Squad, and that's where it's going to be my focus. I'm not going to split my time. I won't even start Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Like, I won't start prepping for it until Suicide Squad is in theaters and wrapped up and done." So we know Suicide Squad's done shooting, and it's in its special effects phase and all that stuff, post production stuff, and so he hasn't even started on Guardians of the Galaxy 3. But obviously, like anybody, he has ideas, he has thoughts, and we're starting to get little bits of information. And so with this one, it's so where we left off with the Guardians in Endgame, right? The Guardians were leaving. Thor says he's handing off the reins of leadership, the king status, to Valkyrie, and he says, "I'm going to go aboard with the Guardians." So you got Thor with the Guardians, and they're going to go off do their thing. So the first piece of really interesting news here is that while Vin Diesel was promoting his new Bloodshot movie, obviously he gets a lot of questions about Groot. He's the voice of Groot and the Guardians and whatnot. And so he kind of let it slip that the Guardians will have an appearance, not so much like be part of the story, but Thor 4. So originally what was going to happen was there was going to be Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Thor was going to be part of that. Then when the Guardians Galaxy movie got pushed, they figured, okay, Thor 4, Love and Thunder, is going to take that spot. So because we left Thor with the Guardians, we still have to address that somehow in the movie. So now instead of Thor being in the Guardians movie, you're basically going to get some of the Guardians in the Thor movie, if that makes sense, right? Am I is that tracking? Am I making sense here?
Yeah, you're tracking. You're tracking. I'm good.
All right. So you're going to see some of the Guardians pop up in the Thor movie, but they won't be won't be a big part. It'll literally probably be just a cameo, drop him off on some planet, and then go off do their own thing until their movie comes out. But what Vin Diesel kind of slipped up, and then I'll say why, is he's giving a little too much information away. So first he mentions that Guardians will appear in the Thor movie, which up till now hasn't been confirmed. But he also said what the next time we see Groot, he basically said, the only thing I will tell you right now is that I promise the next time around it's going to be Alpha Groot. Now, that's up for interpretation. What does Alpha Groot mean? Personally, I think it's, we saw Groot in Guardians of the Galaxy 1. We saw Baby Groot in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And in Avengers Infinity War, we got to see this adolescent, preteen, mid-teen, whatever you want to call it, teenager Groot. So I think that by the time we see, Thor 4 and Guardians of the Galaxy 3, we're going to see this Alpha Groot. It's either he's back to his full stature, or maybe he's evolved past that. Maybe, in the comic books, there was this character called King Groot, where he was just it's like Groot times 6. He was just a Hulk version of the Groot, basically. So he says, out of his own mouth, that he's promising Alpha Groot. It could also mean that maybe he takes up a leadership role. Maybe he's not the sidekick anymore, right? Maybe he's the one calling the shots. I don't know how, but we'll see. The other thing that he kind of slipped up when he was out promoting is he says, I'm waiting, I'm excited. My friend James Gunn, he's knocking out this next one. He's gonna knock it out of the park. He took the Suicide Squad, so he's about to embark on that. Thor will also be incorporated into some of the Guardians of the Galaxy. And so he kind of let slip that the Thor and Guardians of the Galaxy were kind of share some screen time, and that also that there be an Alpha Groot version of the characters. So what that turns out to be, we'll see. So wrapping that all up is Bloodshot comes out March 13th. So we're just 3 days away from the release of Bloodshot. I will be going to see it, and I will tell you what I think about it the next time we all meet.
Fucking spoiler alert.
Oh, I'm going to spoil the shit out of that movie. So you'll just have to mute me for that part of it. No, I don't like spoiling it, but I'll definitely tell you what I think. Thor: Love and Thunder is set for release November 5th of next year.
Sounds like a
That is true.
The Thunder Down Under.
Love and Thunder. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 does not have a release date yet. So, and talking about Love and Thunder, talking about the Thor and people slipping up where they really shouldn't have. During a recent interview with ET Online, the co-star of Thor, Teresa Thompson, who plays Valkyrie, did a great job, did kind of slip up, and she dropped the bomb that, you know, we've talked about Christian Bale has been cast in the movie. He signed on to the movie, but we don't know what he was going to do. Well, she clearly says Christian Bale is going to play our villain, and it's going to be fantastic. I've read the script. I can't tell you much. Lots of exciting text messages exchanged between me and Natalie Portman. We're going to have a lot of fun. Takia, I can never pronounce this guy's name, the director, Takia Wakiti. He's writing and directing, so there'll be some familiar faces and some new people coming into the mix. So now she didn't offer up anything more than like what character he'd be playing, but she did also add that Valkyrie will be kind of in her role as King of Asgard, and she says she's king, and even if she can't find her queen, she'll be king and queen at the same time. So she did kind of let slip that Christian Bale is playing the villain of Thor 4. So I'm super excited to see what he can bring as a villain. He's done a lot of heroic stuff, but to know that he's kind of coming back into the comic book fold and this time getting to play the villain, it's the old, what's the Batman line, right? You live long enough. Oh man, I can't believe I'm gonna mess this up. Live long enough to be the hero. Oh, die a hero, or see yourself live long enough to become a villain. So, we have Christian Bale, who lived long enough. He did the hero thing, and then he's lived long enough that now he's getting to come back and play a villain in a Marvel movie is pretty cool. So, if you've seen any of Christian Bale's crazier roles, right? The Machinist, American Psycho, he can play a really dark kind of character. So I'm very excited to see what he does with that kind of role. He's gonna really chew it up. You know what I mean? So that's that. And one last one.
Okay.
Tom Holland. Everybody knows him as Spider-Man because he's played Spider-Man in the last few movies. He is, and this is we're touching back on video game and movie. So they are making an Uncharted movie. So again, with these Sony, like I said, Sony makes some really great exclusive titles for the PlayStation. Really good stories. Everything from Metal Gear Solids to the Final Fantasies. Great stories. Uncharted is a legend in the gaming and the graphically and the story. The story is so good. For years, they've been circling doing an Uncharted series or doing an Uncharted movie. Well, it looks like it's finally happening. And currently, Tom Holland is set to play a young version of Nathan Drake from the Uncharted series. So the idea is that this movie will be an origin story. So even though if you've played all the video games, this movie will take place before the video games, right? This is when he's young and becoming the Nathan Drake character that we know from the Uncharted series. And here, I actually have. Where did I put it? I should be queuing these things up while I'm talking, but I thought I had a. Yeah, I do. I do have a picture. Check this out. So this is young Tom Holland and adult Nathan Drake. So you can kind of see there's definitely you can see that there's a resemblance. There's a sort of quality that he can theoretically play the character and make it look good. So what Tom Holland has to say is, I think what Uncharted offers that most video game films don't is that it's an origin story to the game. So if you played the games, you haven't seen what's going to happen in the film. And if you haven't played the games, you're still going to enjoy the film because it's information that everyone is seeing for the first time. I'm super excited to make that movie, and it's been a long time coming. When he was asked about the script, Holland sounded absolutely pleased with the results so far. He offered that I've read the newest drafts of the script, and it's one of the best scripts I've ever read. It really, really jumps off the pages. For those that don't really know what's going on with the movie, there's also going to be the Sully character, a classic character of the game, is being played by Mark Wahlberg. So you're going to have Sully as Mark Wahlberg and Tom Holland as Nathan Drake. A lot of fans love Sully. I mean, it's a huge thing, and so when asked about it, Holland said about Wahlberg, "I think Mark's going to kill it as Sully. It's going to be a lot of fun." And now, supposedly, the movie is supposed to release 2021 around the March timeframe, but Sony has yet to name a director on the project. Right now, actually, I'm sorry, the latest, this is the latest, is that Venom director Ruben Fleischer is going to direct the movie. So the old news was that they hadn't had an official director yet, but now, as of last week, Ruben Fleischer, who's the director of Zombieland and Venom, is going to be directing the Uncharted movie. So, you know, both Zombieland and Venom, lots of action, lots of creative storytelling. So I think he'll do a great job. And then the last news coming out of the Uncharted movie is that Antonio Banderas has actually signed on to play a mysterious role. So we don't know if he's hero, villain. I'm assuming he's going to be the villain. If you've got Tom Holland as the main character, you got Mark Wahlberg as the co-star. Antonio Banderas is probably going to be the villain. Let's just call a spade a spade. He's probably going to be the villain. And so that should be exciting. I mean, are you a fan of Ruben's work? So Zombieland or Venom?
Huge fan of Zombieland.
Huge fan of Zombieland.
Huge fan. I want to see the new one too.
Yeah, I saw the new Zombieland. It was good. It's hard to recapture the magic of the first one, and especially doing that like 10, 15 years later. But it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it quite thoroughly. Like I said, it's hard when a movie like Zombieland just came out of left field and was so good. It's really hard to capture that magic again.
Right.
But yeah. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see the Tom Holland led Uncharted movie. I think it's gonna be interesting. I think it has the potential to do what a lot of video game movies don't, and that's tell a good story that pays homage to the video game without having to do anything anywhere near it. So you know, the same way that Sonic did with the Sonic universe. I look back at like the Assassin's Creed movie, which was I hate to bag on things, but it was pretty bad, and it is what it is. But yeah, I think the Uncharted series leads itself to very cinematic storytelling. My wife won't watch me play video games very often, if at all. When I used to play Uncharted, she would sit there and watch, and she would be captivated because it's like watching a movie. I'm leading this character through a movie. The cinematics were beautiful, the set pieces are gorgeous, and the action was punctuated with the right type of storytelling. And yeah, she used to sit there and I would be blown away by it because she just doesn't like watching me play video games.
It's literally one of my wife's favorite things to do is watch me play video games. Oh,
you're lucky.
She loves it.
Lucky man. Yeah, lucky
no, I'm
man.
just being a smart ass. I can tell she's watching right now, so she does. She doesn't hate it, but we're so busy too, so it doesn't really, don't really have time to do it.
Right. No, it's true. It's true. I definitely think that it was a long time ago. It was pre-baby and all that, so a lot easier to do. But yeah, we are at the top of the 10 o'clock hour. We've done it. We've cleared the hurdle of all the tech issues, all the miscommunications. We've got through most of the news that I had to bring to you guys. We cut it a little short due to time constraints, but how do you feel? Do you feel more cultured? Do you feel more pop cultured now than when we started?
Absolutely, I do. I don't know about anyone else. I feel we're good about it.
I hope the audience is enjoying this. I get so excited doing this. I really do. Every article I read, I go, would this be something interesting to talk about? Would this be fun? I wonder what Radar I think about this. And I put all this stuff together, and I love sharing it with the audience, and getting to geek out with you guys is the high point of my week each and every week. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. With that, we are going we're gonna wrap up the show, and I'm gonna do it the same way I do it every week. I'm gonna lead us into a little comedy to take us home. Radar, I'm gonna give you, this is your moment. This is your time to shine. I want you to big send off. Tell people what's coming up here on WTF Nation Radio.
All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us and dealing with our technical difficulties. We'll call it that for our pop culture warrior. And then Wednesday is a Don's a day. And then all right. Oh, I'm all messed up. Thursday.
Thursday comes after Wednesday.
Thursday's the day after Wednesday, right?
Yes.
All right.
This week, anyway.
Thursday, we got SARS time with Ice and Spanky. They'll be bringing you all the big Army stuff, National Guard Reserve, all the fun. Friday night's a Don's a day. Saturday night is another Don's a day. So we almost got like a weekend. And then Sunday, we got Kicking It With Cause, Team Old over there, bringing us some fun, lighthearted stories on Sunday night, get us back ready for the week. And then Monday night, you have the Monday edition, Ice and Flash. And then back to us on Tuesdays.
That's right, man. Oh, so excited, so excited. So I want you to give a big shout out to all our people, sign off, and then I'm gonna put us to bed with a little comedy.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. I've had a blast, man. So much fun. Always. Sorry about all the buttons.
Okay, I say this every week, but next week we're gonna crush it. One solid show, no hiccups. I swear to God, next week we're doing it. All right, everybody. So we're at the end of the show, and as we do every week, I have a specially curated little bit of a comedy for you guys. So this guy is truly amazing. I hope to get him on the show one of these weeks, and his name's Adam Keyes. He is a Army Staff Sergeant retired. He is a triple amputee, but he doesn't want any pity. This guy is a certified badass. He's accomplished more than most people will ever do. He's hand cycled in marathons. He's climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. And now he's performing stand-up comedy. This guy is a legend. I love him to death. And guys, just give it up and watch this special comedy clip from Adam Keyes. We'll see you next week. Shots. All right. I don't know what's going on. now my video doesn't want to work. I'm sorry, guys. I'll tell you what, though. I'm going to post his comedy video on the Pop Culture Warrior Facebook page, and I'll share it there, guys, so that you guys can see it. Apologies if you hung out this long and you're here, and we'll get this right. We'll get this right. I don't know why things aren't working, but it's all part of the fun. So, Radar, love you, bro. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in, and yeah, we'll see you next time.
Shots.
Shots.